Hi guys, and welcome. So when you're watching this, it will be Sunday, April 20th, and happy Easter if you celebrate. I'm recording this the night before. It's a little bit late here, but I know I'll be up in the morning working on my Easter ham, my potatoes, and finishing up my layered jello dessert. I don't know what it's called. Anyway, so I'm recording this a little bit earlier, but I'll have it set up to release early on Sunday morning, which is only a few hours away. It's 11 o'clock here, Saturday night, Chicago time. All right, so we're doing an example together using Impressions Abloom. And the cards I'm going to show you that I already made mostly focus on the dies. So I'm going to focus on the stamps for this. So you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my favorite. I'm going to do my four corners, whatever you want to call it, technique. First things first, got to pick out the colors. So I thought I'm going to go a little less traditional. Because most of the other items I did more like sunshiny spring type colors. Oh, and I want to show you something really quick. Let me show you this. So can you see this? This is stamped without the impressions on it. This is the exact same colors, but with that impression die on it. So you see how it gives it such, kind of almost, in my opinion, blends those colors so much better. Let me kind of put it one-on-one there. See that difference? How you take the same part of the leaves and just by adding that embossing or that texture dye to it, how it changes it. Now I didn't use the circle dye on it, but yeah, I just wanted to show you how that little dye, adding that texture, really changes the look of that flower. Okay, anyway, another thing I love about, I've talked about this catalog and, or the upcoming catalog, and this is going to be from the online exclusives that's available on May 6th. And I guess the one good thing about really not buying a lot, I don't think I bought any sets or bundles from the upcoming new catalog, but I did buy 4 different sets from the online exclusives. The one good thing about it is I have room on my shelf, so look what I can do now. I can use one of my stamp cases and have all of my dies in there. I used to put them in a sticky envelope inside of here, but now look at that. So on my shelf, oops, let me close this or so I'll have them all over the floor. So on my shelf now, it'll go just like that. So I'll have the stamp set, the die set, and any die cuts, all in one area. So I'm kind of happy about that. Not so happy that I didn't buy as many stamp sets, but that's another story for another day. All right, so let's take our color wheel. And instead of using those the more likely color combinations in this area, I'm going to go and I'm going to do Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, and Night of Navy. You know, when you put 3 colors together from the wheel, it really it makes it easy for you to stamp in a coordinated look. So I'd pick any 3 colors. You know, I could pick any of these from here if I wanted to, but I'm going to do these 3 just because. All right, so I want my card layer to be 3 3/4 by 5. That's one of, let me grab out my little layers kit. So 3 3/4 by 5 is one of those layers down. I usually have been doing 4 by 5 1/4, but I'm really getting into this 3 3/4 by 5 because then I'll show you how I'm going to cut a really thin frame to go around that. All right, So if I'm doing 3 3/4 by 5, that means I have to cut this down to 7.5. So that's right there. So essentially I'm taking an inch off by 10. Because 3 3/4 by 5 doubled is 7.5 by 10. Or if you don't like doing math, you would just take 1 inch off on both sides. Of course, save those strips. We'll use them for later for different cards if we don't use them on this card. All right, so now a lot of people, when they do the 4 square, I call it 4 square. A lot of people, I think, call it 4 corners. They'll score their line halfway. I really don't do that. I'll put mine on my grid paper. So let's see. So we're going to go 3 3/4. So if I go from here, 3 3/4 is going to be 11 3/4. I'm sorry, this is the 5-way, sorry. So, and you have your zeroing up here. I guess that would be easier. So let's put that at 5 and 5. Now we don't have a zeroing tool, or we do have it way over here. Don't know if you can see that with the shadow. So we're going to do that at 3 3/4. So I think I'm almost there. 3 3/4. There's my 5. So now I kind of have my paper centered in. I'm going to take just some of this removable tape. You know what? Instead of peeling that, because I always have trouble peeling it, I'm just going to use some of my poster tape. Just going to bunch it up, kind of help hold that down a little bit. All right, so we're still at our 5 that way, and we're still at our 3 3/4 that way. All right. All right, so let's figure out the flowers we want to do. So I think we're going to do a little bit of each. So I'm going to be doing this one stamped off because it's the bigger one. And then I think this one I'll do full strength. And maybe I'll do that one full strength. We'll see how it looks. All right, so let me get out a couple blocks. There's my detailed. There's my solid. And on this, I'm going to be using the Gorgeous Grape and the Highland Heather. All right, so let me put this over on the side here so it doesn't make too much noise when I'm stamping. We're going to do the Highland Heather first. All right, and I'm going to be using, remember, I'm going to be using this as my guiding point. So when I go to do my stamping, my two-step stamping, that's going to be what I'm looking for. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to go somewhat near the middle-ish, but you don't want to completely go on the middle of this Highland Heather because you want it to look, oh, that was a bad stamping. Here, I'm going to have to get my head in on that one. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's where the tape was. Oh, bad move, Roxy. All right, so I'm without getting my head in there. Do that. Oh, that still looks horrible. All right, you know what? I'm taking that tape off because that's exactly where that tape was, and it wasn't liking it. So I am just going to wing it. Let me go ahead and go back down. So I'm about halfway there. Yeah, bad tape. All right, and I'm going to make sure I have it inked up pretty well. Yeah, tape was not a good idea. All right, I keep putting that in the same area, so I want to keep, keep moving that around. Do one up high here. Do one, let's twist the stamp now. Do it a little bit lower here, going a little bit off the edge. Put my finger in the stamp pad. All right, I think that's going to look good because when I go to do it in half, we'll get a little bit of flowers on everything. Let's go a little bit off here. There. All right, gotta stop because sometimes you can overdo it. All right, so now I'm going to go in with that texture one. This is where, since I already have kind of my markings down the middle here, now I can move my cardstock closer to me and actually get in there. So again, I'm going to look for that shape that's going to go to that single leaf by itself. All right, and I might be just a little bit off because I don't want to get my head in the shot. That's looking pretty good there. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. When it goes off the side like that, it's always harder to line it up because you don't have that whole stamp image to look at. I'm so afraid I'm going to drop this when I go to stamp. And that would not make for a pretty look. Ooh, that one's off a little bit. Oh no, it didn't. All right. So now see, this is where, here is that little piece right there, I believe it is. Oh, I'm gonna go for it. Like I said, it's hard to tell because you don't have that whole stamp to kind of be your guide. Yeah, I really had fun playing with this today. Like I said, if it wasn't for having to get up early in the morning and, you know, get the ham in and get all that stuff started, probably would have played with this into the night and then gotten up early and recorded this video, but gotta make some priorities. All right. That one might be a little bit off. Nope, not too bad. Oh, this one. All right, so this one, you have that's completely by itself. So I'm thinking that's like that. Oops, and then I have one more up here. I think it's like that. All right. Let me go ahead and close up my gorgeous grape. Let me bring this up for right now. Look how pretty that is. All right, so yeah, this is kind of a mess though. Let's cover that up and ignore that. All right, so let's go to our centers. Oh no, wait, let's go to the next flower. So let's go, do I want to do this one? Stamped off once. Or do I just want to go to the smaller one? I think I'm going to do both. Oh, I know it. This is what we're going to do. All right, let me see if I have any. Here we go. Oh, no, envelopes aren't good. Here's a bigger envelope. All right. The reason why I said a smaller envelope's not good is if I stamp on here to stamp off, see where that envelope line is? It would give me an uneven stamping. All right. So on this one, we're going to stamp off once. Again, we're going to start. Oh, I have a lot of stamps to clean off now. We're going to start with Highland Heather. Again, on this stamp set, oops, you have to be careful on this because you don't want any of those edges hanging off. There we go. On this one, I like looking for that gap on this one. See how that gap is right there? And there's that gap right there. I don't know if you can see how that goes over one another. So that's what I'll be looking on here. So let's go ahead and take this solid one. We're going to remember to stamp off. Ooh, that might be really light. Oh yeah, you can barely see it. I think that one, did I forget to stamp off on that one? I might have. This is so light, but I think I got enough. All right, so now this might be challenging, especially now I've had my new contacts or my new prescription for over a month now, but I still have times where it throws me off a little bit. So this might be really light to see where that is. I think that's where that gap is. It's so light. Oh, that one was really off. Ooh, I was really off on that one too. All right. Now this one, it's a whole bunch of those together, so I'm thinking it's I wish I had remembered. It looks like those three are together, so let's just go like that. A little bit off, but so there you have all of that. All right. So now let's get in to the blue, Night of Navy. On this, we're going to do the centers. So I think I want to do this in the Highland Heather and then do the blue on top with the yeah, so let's cover this up for now. How about that? Let's go ahead and do Highland Heather for all the big centers, and then very, very light. You can barely see it. I mean, you can. Let me hold it up. You can see where they aren't stamped yet, and they are stamped. I guess if you really wanted it to be darker, you could double stamp it. Let's see if double stamping it makes it a little bit darker. A little bit, not much. All right, so there's that. Now let's bring in that Night of Navy. And this one is going to be for the little scritchies inside, which is this one. I'm going to try to lightly ink it up. Oh, that was the wrong size. Did you see that? The minute I did that, I knew I was wrong. That's one of the smaller ones. You know what another good color combination would be? It's one of my more favorite ones to use. Let me see if I got all my circles on there before I talk. This is one of my favorite. I love Blackberry Bliss. And then I skip over Berry Burst into Fresh Freesia and Bubble Bath. But I really like Blackberry Bliss and Bubble Bath together. One of my favorite color combinations. All right, so now let's get another little block out. And for these circles, I think I'm just going to do, I'm not going to do the background one, but I am going to take the Night of Navy off one. All right, so now there we have that. Now I am going to add, and I'm not going to double stamp this. I'm just going to use the outline, or I'm sorry, not the outline, the detailed on that. And I'm just going to add a little green in there because I think there's a lot going on there. So of course I'm going to use my favorite, Old Olive. Now on the color chart, here's the colors we're using, right here. Old Olive is way over here. So if you can see, if we put those colors, here's the analogous, however you say it. So then if you look across here, really garden green would be the preferred color, but I'm an Old Olive person. I'm going to go ahead and do it. So yeah, you can see it's saying that the complementary for those, oops, let me get it in there. There's our 3 are in there. So see, it's really saying that you should use Mossy Meadow, Soft Sea, or that. These are the complementary colors. I'm going all the way over here to Old Olive. It's okay. It's your card. Do whatever you want to with it. So let's go ahead and let's put some green leaves in there. Just to kind of break up that color a little bit. And I know it's not coming straight out of the flower, but I'm not doing nature 100% here. I just want to bring a little bit of green in there to break up all that beautiful purple and blue we have going. And like I always say when we do these, I know it looks like a hot mess right now, but once we cut it, you're going to see how gorgeous it turns out. Let's see, let's get a little more green in there now. Kind of want to just soften up anywhere I see a lot of that purple. I just kind of want to soften it up a little bit, putting some green in there. All right. Again, don't overdo it, Roxy. Ooh, that was a bad stamp there. Let's see if I can get back on there. Not as great. All right. I think I have enough there. I'm gonna leave it. No, I'm not. I'm gonna put one more right there. All right. So there we are. Put that back in my garbage can. So there's what we have right now. And let's go ahead and cut this down to our layers. So it's going to be 5 by 3 3/4. So there we have 5, 3 3/4. See, look how, oh my gosh, it's just, it always amazes me because not that it looks like a hot mess, but it's like really, you're kind of like, Roxy, not sure what's so impressive about this technique, but I just love it. Look at those. I mean, you can put it whichever way you want. If I was putting these as cards right now, I would probably do it like this. This is how I would lay them on my card base. All right, I'm going to take Gorgeous Grape. I don't know why I put my cutter back over here. This we're going to do at 3 7/8. So we're going to have just that little tiny border. 3 7/8 that way on that straight edge. Manufacturer cut straight edge. Here's 3 7/8 here. Going to leave you then with that nice little layer if you decide to use that. And then we're going to do 5 1/8 this way. Right. Let's do 5 1/8 this way here. Now, oh, my camera went a little weird. Oh, I didn't think about if our internet resets around midnight. It's 11:30. I have a little bit of time to go still. All right. So I'm only going to do one of these, but what I always do on this, just because, is I will take this. This isn't, you can go through that way, and I'll cut out a few things from the middle because that's going to make it lighter, and it's going to you know, stretch your cardstock even more. So let's go ahead. Sometimes when I layer, have different on the babies, it doesn't go through as well. Let's see if I can get it. Now you don't want it right up to the edge, but this is going to be a very thin border, so we should be okay doing it like this. Let's see if I can get this to go through. Oh yeah, it is. I'm just watching to make sure none of those slide into one another as it goes through the rollers. Like I said, I'm only going to do one for you, but I would do this with all three. And then I would have these, add those into that in here for more die cuts ready to go. All right, let me put these back over here. I'll finish that up later. All right. Put this. All right. So now we have this. Give me a base card. I actually am going to do a white base card, even though you know I'm usually a very vanilla person. But let's go ahead. So we're going to have that. Which one do I need? I think I want to use this one. This one's just so gorgeous. I mean, they're all gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. All gorgeous. But let's go ahead and stamp this. Don't want to stamp. You don't want to layer this yet, because when you go to stamp, you're going to have that uneven surface. So let's go ahead and stamp here. And I think I'm just going to do thanks. Oops. I didn't put those back down the way they're supposed to be. So that's why they're falling. Let me put them back in the way they're supposed to be. Let's see. So much easier. Oh my goodness. All right. hang it over here on my side counter, so I don't have to worry about it. Let me grab out that thanks, though. And let's just get one more block, because we have so many blocks we have to clean off. And I think I'm going to go back to the Gorgeous Grape. I thought about doing the Old Olive. I don't really want to do Memento. All right. Get this straight. I'm going to get my head in probably a little bit. Oh gosh, I hope that's straight. And if it's not, you know it's a card made by Roxi. All right. Ooh, so many to clean up. All right, let me grab my seal. It was funny, the other day I was talking about seal, and I was talking about the old containers, and I couldn't remember what it was called. It was Stampin', I think it was Snail, wasn't it? Fuse was a few back, and that's back when we were more scrapbooking, but I think it went from Stampin' Snail to Seal. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to get that nice little thin border before we pull it down, push it down, and make sure we have that whole border on there. Go ahead. Make sure it's opening the right way. All right, and there you are. There's our card. Isn't it gorgeous? And that's that 4-square, 4-corner, whatever you want to call it, method that I just love. All right, let's go ahead and show you the other cards that I've made. So here we have this one. This is using our 12 by 12 two-tone cardstock that's going to be available in all of the colors starting on May 6th. Here I just did a little half fold, so I just cut a little 1/2 inch off there. Those are all those flowers with all of that embossing on it. Again, I didn't do the centers yet. So there's that one. Excuse my, I'm not good at fussy cutting, so it doesn't have a die, but I thought I'll still give it a chance. And then here we used just a solid color stock, solid colored card stock, and did the impressions on it. Use that frame and the thin frame, layered it on. Very vanilla, but just look at that. Look how pretty that is. And this, I really stamped on the cardstock first, but then I didn't like the way I stamped it, so I layered, and then I cut it out again so that it would have that same little stitched edge. All right, let me go like this. That way we're covering up all that gorgeous grape that is all messy now. All right, guys. Oops, let me go up a little bit more. So there you are. There's your cards for today. Thanks for watching. Have a great Easter if you celebrate. Give me a thumbs up. Share on your social media. Send me a comment. Most of all, have a great day and be safe. Bye for now.